All right, we're live. What's good? What's good? What's good? This is Drew, and that's Akeem.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Keen. Welcome to Urban ENT Alumni Podcast. Is this our fourth one?
Yep, this is Urban ENT Alumni, episode 4.
Yeah. All right. Let's get it going. So,
We got
current
no
event.
Anthony today because we don't know where he's at.
Yeah. So when it gets back to us, hold on. Yeah. Hold on. I'm on the phone. Hold on. Hold on.
Anyways, Anthony's in Minnesota right now, but I think he's back at St. Cloud. He might jump on later.
All right. All right. So,
We will see if Ant shows up, but otherwise, we got other topics. Me and Akeem can hold it down.
yeah. Let's. You want to discuss current events first? Rest in peace to Stan Lee.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a sec. Damn, I just saw that like an hour ago. Stan Lee, the Marvel creator, passed away.
At
I think he
95.
was 95 years old. Yep. True legend, though.
Yeah. Well, what was the cause of his death? Is it just old age, or was it?
Yeah, something like that. I'm assuming. I didn't really read too much into it, but yeah, he was an old man. He made a cameo in every single Marvel movie, which was pretty cool to see. And of course, he was the creator of all our favorite superheroes, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think there's something. And it's been kind of crazy with the mixtapes, the albums lately. It's been a lot of stuff that's been dropping.
Yeah, you caught up on stuff? What have you been listening to?
Man, I've mostly been listening to Fetty, the Currency, and Freddie Gibbs album. And
What did you think of it?
I like it because it wasn't too long, and they have good back and forth, which is good. And like when they dropped the album, I was thinking about the last podcast I was in when we were talking about collab albums with no chemistry, and it's wild how they dropped it like the Thursday after. So,
Yeah, that's true. Then in ENT3, we were talking about joint projects was my topic, and we kind of came up with like dudes that don't have good chemistry. The projects usually suck. But I listened to it right when it came out, and I think that Currency and Freddie Gibbs actually sound pretty good together overall.
yeah, they do. Did you know they actually had a song on a Currency album? The name of the song was Fetty, which is why I think they named the album Fetty, because like on the song, the back and forth was like fucking crazy. So I think that's why they decided to do a whole album. But yeah, it worked out great.
I'm just yeah, there was like a ton of new music that dropped, but that was a good album. I'm just checking to see what other mixtapes, because I've been trying to keep up, but they've been dropping like crazy.
Yeah, and then there's the drip harder, whatever it's called.
Is that the Gunna Little Baby?
Yeah, the Gunna Little Baby tape that's out too.
I liked it, but on second listen, there's only like 2 or 3 songs that are really good.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not one of the. It's not one of those tapes where you just listen to everything from beginning to end because it all sounds the same.
Yeah, it's not lyrical. Like I think those two artists have chemistry though, because they sound like whatever their sound is, it kind of works together. But it's not something I'd just like sit and play like again and again.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just checking my. I write down every album and mixtape I listen to, so I don't forget. Oh, I listened to did you hear the Styles P mixtape, Dimebag?
No, I haven't heard that yet.
It's like 10 songs. It's okay. I thought it was pretty good.
I haven't heard it.
Chief Keef, Back from the Dead 3 was not very good. Vince Staples was really good.
Yeah, FML, I like that one. That one's really good.
That's honestly my favorite right now. I've listened to that one like 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I really liked it. The first song, Feels Like Summer. That's my favorite song.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to drop that during the summer. Like, if it had dropped the album during the summer, it probably would have been received better than now, because it's like it's clearly summer music, like the way he did with Big Fish Theory last year. He dropped that summer, and that was kind of a summer album. So, yeah, but either way, it's still a good album. I'm still listening to it.
And then I listened to Young Buck, 10 Felonies.
Oh yeah, I heard about Young Bucks, but I haven't listened yet.
Yeah, he dropped 2. He had 10 Politics, and then he did another 10-track album or mixtape, 10 Felonies. So I didn't listen to the first one, but 10 Felonies was pretty good.
No, I haven't heard either. So much.
And then I heard Action Bronson, White Bronco was actually really good.
Damn, I didn't even know Action Bronson had something new.
Yeah, it's like 11 songs. It's pretty good. I liked it.
What was his last album, Action Bronson?
I forgot. He only has, does he have 1 or 2 albums out?
I think he has like studio albums. I think he has maybe 2 or 3, but he has several mixtapes. But I think his last album was from like 2015, Mr. Wonderful, whatever it's called.
I don't remember if I listened to that one or not.
I did. It was kind of it wasn't a bad album.
Okay.
Yeah.
But White Bronco is pretty good. I'd check that.
He has this one song off of the album called Terry. Like the melody of that song is just really fucking beautiful.
Oh, I remember that song, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Oh, Jimmy Butler got traded.
Jimmy Butler finally left, so we'll see how it works out in Philly.
Yeah. What do you think about what the Wolves got back?
I don't know. I wish we had a star player, but I guess we have to rely on Cat.
Well, now Cat's got to be the guy.
Yeah, Cat has to step up. So the question is it going to step up or not? But I think what we got back is better than having to deal with Jimmy Butler's attitude, which would then affect their gameplay on court. So
it'll be interesting to see how that works out in Philly because they got a pretty young core group of guys, and Jimmy. It might not be a good thing. We'll see.
Yeah, and I'm seeing how I read something. I saw a little headline about how they're thinking about firing Tom Thibodeau. So
yeah, I've heard rumors about that too. I don't know what's gonna happen there.
That's gonna be interesting.
I know that we got the Nets tonight. I'm actually like a block away from Target Center right now.
Is it on national TV or?
I think just Fox Sports North. Not national. I don't think it is. We should have went tonight, really.
D'Lo isn't he with them?
What's that? Oh yeah, D'Angelo Russell's their point guard. I don't know who else is really good on their team. Russell and who's even on the Nets anymore? I don't even know. Brooke Lopez is not there anymore. He's on the I don't even know what team he's on. Yeah. We should beat the Nets.
I hope so.
But anyways, you got a topic?
Yeah, so my topic today is I don't know, it's a fairly easy but complicated one.
Okay.
Okay, so you know how I'm always on Twitter talking about hip hop. That's like 98% of my tweets.
Yep.
So, and a bunch of it is just arguing like, oh, this rapper is good, this rapper's album is good, this rapper's album is better than the other's album. So, and then we use the term GOAT all the time. Like 2003, 50 Cent is the greatest rapper of all time. All the time. So. My topic is, how do we determine who the greatest is? Do we base it on objectivity or subjectivity? Because if we're basing it off of like being objective, then it's probably like Eminem or Jay-Z.
Right.
Because like Eminem, for example, he's so more than like any other rapper, really. Like every Eminem album does numbers, regardless. It doesn't matter. So, and Eminem is a good rapper. We all know he's not my favorite rapper, so I won't get into all that. But he can technically rap, but I don't necessarily like his lyrics, and his voice kind of sounds whiny at times. But if we're going off of sales, then we can say maybe Eminem or Jay-Z. If we're going off of success, then we can say Jay-Z because it's the rap mode, bro. But if we're going off of skill, I'll go with Nas or Mos Def. But
yeah,
then,
this is a.
yeah, but
Oh,
then,
sorry.
yeah, but that like skill is where it gets subjective because you can't argue like Eminem sells a lot of records, Jay-Z's very successful. You can't argue that. That's just that. That's a fact. But then when you go to skills, like I think when it comes to like lyricism, delivery, storytelling, just like bar for bar, Nas is better than Jay-Z and Eminem. And as a whole, I like Nas's projects better than I do Eminem's.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to think about like all those different lanes you just said because like it is hard when we start talking GOAT because yeah, like you could go on who's got the best bars, but that's subjective. But then you could go by sales, which is objective, or
Yeah,
you could go by impact, which is subjective, but not really though because you can kind of see
yeah.
impact.
I won't necessarily say
Right.
impact is objective. It's just like it depends on who you ask. So like Jay-Z and Gucci Mane, like if you ask which one is the more impactful rapper among the two, there are people that will tell you Gucci, and there are people that will tell you definitely Jay-Z. But they're both very impactful, in their
Yeah.
way. So yeah, and
Those two, that's an interesting comparison. Those two are impactful in very different ways.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, and that's what I'm trying to like think to determine like who we can say objectively is the greatest of all time. I think if we were to say objectively like the greatest of all time without if we're saying someone that like literally like created the lane, I want to say like Rakim. It's like without Rakim, rappers probably wouldn't be rapping like they are today, or maybe they will. But Rakim is the one that he really set that blueprint because like we talked about before, the way rappers used to rap, in 86, 85, it was just goofy. It was just goofy.
It doesn't. The
Yeah,
cadence now sounds really just
yeah,
whack.
yeah. Rakim was more or less the one that brought lyricism to hip hop, metaphors, and that's what, and a lot of people consider '90s the greatest decade of rap, and that's what a lot of rappers from the '90s followed too. Like what Rakim did, and then from all of that, we got gangster rap, we got all of that. So I think based off of that alone, Rakim,
Mm-hmm.
on impact, on rap forever, really, it's Rakim. So, but then we can go off of like, okay, so Tupac, for example, like Tupac is like globally known. I've known, it's people like in, different regions of the world that don't, they don't understand or speak a lick of English, but, they're listening to Tupac. Tupac did that from the genre. Like Tupac he really made hip hop, like he took hip hop to another level. And I'm saying this as someone that hasn't, that wasn't born here in the US. I didn't grow up here in the US. So, I know how much like how big Tupac was. And then we look at Jay-Z, who's been, pretty much the top guy since, some people say Reasonable Doubt, some people say since Blueprint.
I would even give it to him around 99.
Yeah, so and then we're talking about, the success, someone that's been able to do really everything that they wanted to do. And then, you got Jay-Z dropping an album in 2017, and his rap is still adequate. And I won't say good, it's decent. Yeah. But then, we also got Nas, who gave us arguably, the best hip hop debut of all time, Illmatic. And
Right. That's another thing to consider too, is like,
yeah,
in terms of like objective, let's talk about being objective for 1 second. Because like there's so many artists that come out with like a splash album like that, like Illmatic or 50 with Get Rich or Die Trying, or like Doggy Style with Snoop Dogg. But then if they don't maintain kind of that hot streak, like 50 maintained it for a couple albums and then it kind of dwindled.
yeah,
So we don't always, he's in your personal list, but like, objectively, he had kind of a rough period album wise.
yeah,
So like, and same with, but It's funny that he doesn't get grouped in with like Nas though, because some people remember like in the Takeover, he said, Jay says to Nas like, your first album, blah blah blah. Your second album was whatever.
That was before Get Rich or Die Trying came out though, because Blueprint was 2001.
Yeah, but like, how does that affect like your though? Like, if your albums if they kind of falter in consistency, like if you kind of have some cold albums.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess it does affect it, but like it depends. Because like with Mos Def, after Nas, I got Mos. But the thing with Mos Def is that like the good thing about Mos is also like the bad thing with him, because he's not gonna give you the same song or the same album twice. So like you see Black on Both Sides, and then the New Danger is like the exact opposite of Black on Both Sides. And then you got True Magic, which is kind of similar to Black on Both Sides, but it's still not quite the same. And then the Ecstatic, which is different from all of them. So the album doesn't have his albums doesn't have hip hop consistency in terms of like boom bap rapping, which is what people wanted, because that was what they got on Black Star and Black on Both Sides. But the music is still like sonically good, because it's still like the music is still fucking good, regardless if it's rapping or not. But
right.
So
I know artists evolve. Like there's like Snoop Dogg albums that we were just talking about this not long ago. How like some of his like sophomore and his third album, they sound better now when you go back.
Yeah.
And I think like some of those have actually aged well. And same with most, like people were like, like his first album was so amazing, and then was it 2000? What was the second one? The New Danger was what, 2004?
2004, yeah.
Yeah, everyone was like, oh, it's so different, whatever, we don't like it as much. But now you go back and it's like, oh, that album's dope. Like,
same with the Ecstatic. When the Ecstatic dropped, it wasn't a lot of people that was, everyone still wanted Black on Both Sides, Mos Def, but they'll, we probably won't get that again, because Mos is one of those rappers that just evolve, like won't make the same album twice. So, and now one of these these days people consider the Ecstatic to be the best album from 2009. So,
right.
But when the way I consider like my greatest of all time, like my personal greatest of all time, is by how much I listen to that music, by how much I listen to them. Like if I can always go back to your music consistently, and it's not necessarily just about the rapping, even though like that's one of the things I really like about Nas, is like his rapping and his writing skills, because I really admire, like, I like the way he writes. He's a great storyteller.
He also like his voice and his voice are just unparalleled.
Yeah. So it's just interesting to think. I think if we're really going to be, well, what about someone like Kendrick? Kendrick has been able to kind of do both.
That's a good point. Thanks for bringing up Kendrick, because on my personal GOAT list, he is actually, you might laugh, but he's currently number 2, and he might be my number 1 before I die.
You see, the thing with Kendrick is like a lot of like this old heads, they would never, talk about Kendrick the way they're supposed to. Like they compare all these like older rappers to him. Like, you're on a list like of all time. Who do you rank higher, Talib Kweli or Kendrick?
Kendrick, easily.
Yeah, because Kendrick is better than Talib in every shape, form, whatever. Because like Talib Kweli is older, is from this certain generation. Then it's like,
give me any good rapper that we like from the 90s. I'll probably say Kendrick's better. Like, give me a random one. Like, I don't know, Method Man. I like Kendrick.
What about Redman?
Yeah, slightly though, because Redman is in my top 5. My current top 5 GOATs. Here, let me pull it up. Now we're on this. But like my current top 5, like for me, my GOATs in order, like, so number 1 and then working my way down. So number 1 is Tupac still, just based on impact and the amount I listen to him. 2 is Kendrick Lamar. 3 is Nas. 4 Jay-Z. 5 Redman.
Mine is Nas, Mos Def. Number 3, The Roots or Black Thought, whichever you want to say. Number 4 is Raekwon. And then number five, right now, my number five is always changing. So right now, I'll say my number five is, damn, I've been listening to There Is a Dark Side. So I think I'll go with Redman for number five.
Hey, there you go. Man.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say KRS One because I've been listening to I Got Next a
Yeah.
lot, but yeah, I'll go Redman for now. But Kendrick can be the greatest of all time if Biggie could be the greatest of all time off of two albums. Because Kendrick already gave us good, fuck it. Kendrick gave us Section 80,
Yep.
Looking at Me, and To Pimp a Butterfly. Biggie did, less than that. And on a personal note, I think Kendrick, is better than Biggie.
Oh, I think so.
You're right. So it's not so far fetched to say Kendrick is like the greatest of all time because when you look at it,
Not that big, not awesome.
yeah, because like when you look at it, maybe Biggie has a better flow than Kendrick. I'll give him because Biggie was smooth with the shit. So I give him better flow. But when it comes to like creativity and and being artistic, I'll give it to Kendrick because 95% of what we got from Biggie was guns, bitches, whatever. Like
Pretty stereotypical.
yeah, it's stereotypical. Like the only time we really got to see a different side of Biggie was uh Sky's the Limit and
Yep. And oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Suicide.
What's that one with Bone Thugs where he switched up the flow and did it like fast? Notorious.
Yeah, Notorious. Yeah, Notorious. No, but that was I'm thinking about Suicide Thoughts. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was more of like a concept song.
Yeah. See, yeah, I feel like that's the like unless there's something I'm forgetting, which I feel like I am.
But yeah, the majority of it was like kind of.
And then we got a more like on I Got a Story to Tell. You can't. It was just fucking around at that, which is kind of dope. But yeah, overall, I'm choosing Kendrick over Biggie.
Here's a question then, and I think I agree with you, but like, do you think because of Biggie's because he died young and he only had a couple albums, do you think his legacy and like the GOAT conversation for him slips as time goes on a little bit or not?
No, I think Biggie will always be considered the GOAT, the same way Tupac will always be considered the GOAT, just for the simple fact of the advantage, which is kind of ironic to say, the advantage that they're dead, I mean, it's never an advantage that you're dead, but we'll never see more. We can only talk about what already happened. But then people always like, oh, we only talk about them like this because they're dead. Regardless of why we do it, that's still the impact. That's the legacy that they left. So I think Biggie and Tupac will always be regarded in that note, especially Tupac. Like Tupac, I feel like will forever be relevant in rap music. Like there will never be a time where Tupac will not be relevant.
And to me too, I agree. Like a lot with if they pass away, they're just kind of immortalized and they have their spot. But like also the fact that Biggie and Pac both passed in their prime, unlike like Tentacion, he wasn't in his prime. So I think he's getting a lot of attention now because he died young and he was talented, but he wasn't in his prime or anything. No. Like he was like Pac and Biggie were running the game, the whole thing. Like both.
So So I'll give for my goals still based on how much I listen to, based on how much I like your projects as a whole, based on what I consider, how good of a writer you are, which is fairly important to me. That's not all I base it on. I mean, I listen to 50 Cent, so. But Nas is a really good writer for me. And when it comes to it, like when it really comes down to it, like if you're a rapper, you can rap, which is what Nas like does best. Like when Nas is rapping, and I feel that's one of the things that all these rappers have that Nas doesn't, because like Nas doesn't have this bigger than life personality. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just it's like at least what he portrays to us is a chill dude. That
right.
happens to
rap.
Okay. Yeah. So Nas is still my number one. Illmatic, it was written. Life is Good. I Am, God's Son. I can go on all day. I love all those albums.
Every album has his.
Yeah, and number two, Mos Def. The only reason I choose Nas over Mos Def is because Nas has more projects.
Yep.
And Nas is on Futures more. We see a lot a lot of Nas more than we see Mos Def. Which is not a problem, but because they're so like I can't really decide which one to choose. So I was just nitpicking. So that's why I'll give Nas above Mos Def. And then the Roots or Black Thought, if you will. So the reason Black Thought is my number 3 is because he doesn't have a solo album that I can go crazy about, even though he's yeah.
Like Andre 3000, even though they're not solo albums.
Yeah, like I'll consider I can give Black Thought more GOAT status because there's been Roots albums where it's just him, or where he raps on every song, and at that point, you're basically you're the lead vocalist, so it's as much as your album as it is the rest of the group. So I'll give Black Thought because of that. But the thing is, we still don't see how it is outside of the Roots, because like his album that dropped earlier this year, Stream of what's it called? Stream of Thought or something? Yeah.
Black Thought?
Yeah, he dropped that album with Ninth Wonder this summer called Streams of Thought.
I remember that. I remember the name.
Yeah, but the album wasn't that good. And not that the rapping was bad, but it's just like Black Thought just raps over random beats about, whatever. Which doesn't, and when you compare that to the Roots, when he's rapping with the Roots, he's more structured. There's a concept, there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm. So,
and that's one of the reasons why I won't give Black Thought, the greatest of all time, because he can rap as good as Nas and Mos Def. But if you don't have your own solo album, it's hard for me, which is one of the problems with Jay Electronica too. And then Raekwon, Raekwon, I just like his style overall. He's one of my favorite rappers ever. He gave us Only Beautiful Cuban Links classic, and I like Immobiliarity, which was his album that followed up Only Beautiful Cuban Links, and then we have Only Beautiful Cuban Links 2.
It was Immobiliarity.
Yeah.
That was like his second album, 99.
Yeah, that was the second album. It came out like 4 years after. Yeah, it came out 4 years after Only Beautiful Cuban Links, and I liked it. But a lot of people,
it's good.
A lot of people feel like it didn't live up to Only Beautiful Cuban Links hype. But yeah, I'm biased. So, and then number 5, I have to give it to Redman.
Yeah, Redman. Like I keep finding myself going back to his albums because he's a really underrated writer, I think. And
it's funny too. He's he's playful.
Yeah, he's funny with it. He definitely has fun with it, and like I've always liked his delivery. I've always liked his he does funny stuff, but his stuff to me is funnier than like when Eminem tries to be funny or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because Eminem is just like angst.
It's just so random through some of it. Like at least Redman, like some of it's random, but it usually tells like kind of a funny story. Whereas like just like name dropping like random people from like 2002 that don't even make sense anymore. Like, I don't know. It's so not coherent. But like I really liked your top 5. I think for the rest of my list, because I had a top 10. So Biggie was like on the cusp for me, but I had to give the 5 spot to Redman. So Biggie was my 6 because I still have a lot of respect for Big and his work. Ice Cube was 7. Common was actually my 8.
Yeah.
And then Mos Def 9, Jadakiss 10.
You see, that's how I kind of. I don't have a full 10, but let me I'll throw in roughly. I'll put Lupe in there. I'll put Lloyd Banks in there.
About 50.
Yeah, I was about to say 50. I'll put 50 in there. I'll throw Common in there as well, and then Pharoah Monch. I'll throw him in there too.
Yeah, Pharoah Monch is underrated. Is he from New York or what? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's from New York.
I was just listening to his 2007 album, Desire, I think, the other day.
Yeah, good album. That's a good album.
Good album. I really like the song called, I think it's called like The Bar or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good project. But yeah, Common is in my top 10. And I think a lot of people don't realize how talented he is because didn't he win an Emmy or something? Because he does TV, he does movies.
Yeah, I think he's won an Emmy, he's won an Oscar for Glory.
And he was in. I saw him in John Wick 2. He was like a bad guy.
Yeah. He was in John Wick. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he was a bad guy, but yeah, I guess anyone that's like opposed, that's against John Wick is a bad guy. But yeah.
That's John Wick. They're making John Wick 3, by the way. That's gonna be
yeah.
But yeah, Common. I think he has one of my top albums of all time, which is B, his 2005.
Oh, yeah, that's a great album.
That album is perfect. You can listen to that front to back every day. To me, that's one of my favorite albums. It's just a really, I don't know, it's just really sonically pleasing. It's kind of jazzy. It's kind of its own feel.
Yeah, that's my topic.
All right, cool. Yeah, I guess we can switch over to mine. But yeah, last thoughts on what you consider the GOAT. We kind of talked about our GOAT.
Yeah. Well, what you consider a GOAT is skill, which is writing skill, rapping skill, and their ability to switch their style up but still kind of keep the sound the same, which I think Nas does very well.
Okay. Yeah, I think me what makes my GOAT list is probably your lyricism, like you kind of said, in terms of skill. That might not be important to everybody, especially like in the newer generation, but I think lyricism for like your list of top solo MCs is pretty important because it's a little bit more objective. You know, you can tell when somebody, can't rap, doesn't have bars. You can tell. But so skills, and then just kind of, you mentioned like someone you can go back and listen to time and time again. I find myself doing that with Kendrick, with Tupac, with Redman. So I think that might have a little bit more of a subjective flavor to it because you're biased towards who you like to listen to. It might be something you grew up listening to. It might be something that you just really personally like for whatever reason. But I think it's hard when we talk about GOAT to like put longevity into it because sometimes it's not even like up to the artist. They get killed young, or maybe they go on a cold streak or whatever, but they're still great because like 50 Cent, he might have went on a cold streak in the middle of his career, but he's still, I consider him one of the best. Lil Wayne fell off. He's still considered one of the best. Eminem, he's falling off right now, but we still think he's a GOAT. He's still going to have that, and that part of that is sales too. Part of that is just so there's so many factors to it, and I think it's always a fun topic because it's what you can go up to any hip hop fan and start saying who do you think's the greatest of all time, and you're instantly in a debate, and that will never not be a thing. Like you'll always do that. So yeah, good topic. I guess we can switch to mine. Let's see. All right, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right, I don't know if we ever talked about this one because we did back in college. Did we ever do hip hop movies?
Yeah, we did. That was when we watched Dope.
Oh yeah, okay. So we haven't done. This is my topic. I don't think we've done influences of hip hop on television and TV shows. So I don't think we've done that specifically. We've touched on movies. So I have a couple like questions that you can answer first. So which TV shows are the most influenced by hip hop culture? Which shows are frequently referenced in rap music, new and old? Do any shows portray hip hop negatively? And what's your favorite hip hop influenced show?
These are really good questions. Okay.
Wait, let me.
Okay.
All right, you go ahead.
No. So ask me so you'll ask and I'll answer.
Okay. So the first one, dang it, I lost it. The first one was we're talking hip hop and TV. Which TV shows are the most influenced by hip hop?
I think you look at Fresh Prince, Will
That was,
Smith,
that was my very
rap
first.
it. Yeah, everyone knows that theme song. You know, Will Smith, rapping the theme song. Number two, I want to say maybe Martin.
That was gonna be, yeah. You got to start with Fresh Prince and Martin. Those are the
Yeah,
two probably
and
most influenced by hip hop.
yeah, and the reason I say Martin is because you can tell too with with Martin Lawrence, he referenced B a bunch of times. Like there was this with Gary Coleman
Yeah,
where jail and Martin was I guess Martin was the one that snitched on him to send him to jail or something like that. So Martin was at the barbershop and then he goes and he found out that Gary Coleman's character is out of jail. So he's all shook at the barbershop. So then they told him to man up, whatever. So I can't really remember that side of the story. But then as he was trying to talk tough, the thing he said is there's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing if my burglar alarm starts ringing, which is what Biggie said in Warning. And yeah, and then Biggie goes on to appear on Martin, which I'm not sure was before or after that episode. So I think Martin is heavily influenced by hip hop. And then we look at the Steve Harvey show too. The sitcom, not the radio show he used to have.
yeah, sitcom. Like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the sitcom, he had Snoop and Diddy on there at the height of his class, which I thought like was kind of really cool because people thought they would never see that. They would never see that at the time, and and I thought that was like a pretty huge deal. And the way they set it up on the show too, made it seem like Biggie, made it seem like Diddy and Snoop were gonna fight each other, but then that was when they kind of talked about like, oh, there's no East Coast West Coast beef. It's just what the media portrayed. And I thought, when I saw that when I was younger, that was just like the coolest thing for me to see. So
do you remember what year it was though? When it was Diddy on Steve Harvey?
Huh?
You remember what year that episode was?
I think it was '97. I think it was after Pac and Biggie died.
Oh, it was after they passed.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for me, like that. I think you tweeted about it the other day, and that actually got me thinking about the topic. But for me, I think that Biggie cameo, well, not cameo, he appeared on that full episode of Martin. That's like the best guest spot of like any rapper. Yeah. Just because it was totally him. Like he didn't like try to act. It was just so Biggie. Like I don't know, and he wasn't really an actor like Tupac was. So he was just there. He was just chilling. He was doing his thing, and it was cool to see him. Because I think that's the only acting credit he ever did was that Martin episode. But I think Snoop was on Martin. A bunch of rappers were on Fresh Prince, of course.
Yeah.
So and the influence is just so obvious to see in those shows. Like Martin's apartment, he has Tupac's CD on the wall. He has like hip hop posters and stuff. So. And then obviously Will Smith, like he was rocking all the Jordans and like he was rapping all the time. So those two are my number 1 and 2, I would say.
Yeah. Also, I think on the Wayans, bro, Missy Elliott was on. Which one was Missy Elliott on?
I think she was on there, and I know Busta Rhymes was on Wayans Bros one time. He performed on the episode, which was cool. It was like '96 or something. But that's another one.
And then the Tupac was also on. Was it A Different World?
Yeah, that was actually he did a good job with Jada Pinkett. The later seasons of A Different World, but that was a classic episode, classic Tupac guest appearance. But another one, and this one is a little bit more in the early 2000s, is The Wire. That is always talked about. That's another really hip hop show.
That's my favorite show ever.
Yeah, The Wire. There's so many artists that reference it all the time. What's his name? Pusha T. He references The Wire a few times.
Yeah, My Name Is My Name is basically it's from Marlo Stanfield going, My Name Is My Name. So and then he references Avon. Yeah.
And some of the actors in that too, because like Wood Harris, who plays Avon, of course, he was in a couple other hip hop related movies, like Above the Rim. He was in TikTok. couple other ones too.
Yeah, he wasn't paid in full with Cameron.
Yeah, Paid in Full with Cameron and Mekhi Phifer. Another classic hip hop related movie. But yeah, for TV shows, I think The Wire definitely. Martin and Fresh Prince, Wayans Bros, Steve Harvey, like a lot of them from the 90s definitely were hip hop influenced. And that was kind of the first time you saw rappers doing guest spots on like sitcoms and stuff. You didn't really see that before Fresh Prince, obviously, or in the 80s or anything. So I think it's kind of important to recognize that, you know, even in like today's shows, like what do you got today? Like you got Power, you got Snowfall, you got like shows like that. What was the next one? Do you think any shows portrayed hip hop negatively ever?
I don't know. No show that I can think of that isn't accurate with the depiction of hip hop. And you know, they don't overdo it is what I'm trying to think of. Nah, I got nothing. Do you have something I'm not thinking of?
The one that's like negative. Not specifically that I can think of. Usually the ones that are having rappers on the show and stuff like that, they obviously love hip hop and are paying homage to it. But yeah, I can't really think of any that are like negatively portraying it, which is probably a good.
Yeah, I mean, there's been, you know, like on The Sopranos, you know, I forget this dude's name, Bokeem Woodbine. I don't know. I don't really know how you say his name, but it was the dude on Tupac's "I Ain't Mad at Ya," I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was him. Tupac's music video, "I Ain't Mad at Ya."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he was in a Sopranos episode, and I'm not remembering the episode correctly, but you know, he's seen as a gangster rapper, and he tries to intimidate, you know, someone from the Soprano family to pay someone their royalties back. I won't say that's you know, it's not necessarily a negative portrayal, but you know, I guess I'm just trying to say a lot of rappers aren't like that, and a lot of times with shows, when they want to talk about a rapper, they make it seem like the only type of rappers there is a gangster rapper. Like Monk. I don't know if you ever watched the show Monk. You know, Monk was supposed to help a rapper, and the rapper was Snoop. It was kind of a funny episode, but you know, like in shows like that, when they want to talk about rappers, they only seem to think of one type of rapper, which is like gangster rapper, which you know.
You brought up an idea. You know how in the Boondocks they parody rappers, gangster rappers.
Yeah.
Like Gangstalicious and Thug Nipsey.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, yeah.
And,
yeah, they make it seem like only gangster rappers are rappers, you know. So that's one thing that I can say. I mean, there is a lot of gangster rappers or gangster rappers, but they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones worth showing. They're not the only ones worth talking about. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I think like in the Boondocks when they parody that, I think it's just like some rappers and some of like the content. I think they were parodying like, I don't know, just like songs that are really shallow and stuff like that about objectifying women and whatever.
Yeah.
But obviously we know there's like all those other rappers like Mos Def Common that don't sound. It's almost like a different kind of music. It's so different. You can't get it like all together like that and just be like, oh, all rappers are thugs and everything, because that's so not true.
Yeah. Oh.
But Boondocks is obviously more of a parody though. Of just
yeah. Boondocks is a parody easily.
They show a lot of love to hip hop culture too in that show.
Yeah, and hip hop references it too,
Right. But yeah, that's like, besides like some of those parodies, there's not too many others that I think like completely try to demolish it or anything like that, or give it a bad name. But yeah, for me, the top two, they've got to be Fresh Prince and Martin, and those two are just so like cemented, you know, in hip hop culture.
And Kendrick talks about Martin being his favorite TV show too. So
Right, lots of rappers say that, and like there was that Big Sean video with Chris Brown.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was called Play No Games. If you haven't seen that video, it's really cool. They like recreate the Martin set, and then I think Martin's actually he comes on at the end.
Yeah, Martin comes in at the end. That was a good music video. What's the next question?
Oh yeah. So the next one was, I don't know if this is considered movies, but we can talk about it anyways. What are some of your favorite hip hop documentaries? Because I know there's a lot on Netflix right now. I got a few I can recommend.
I think one of my favorite ones. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called, but it's Ice-T is the one doing it.
Ice-T?
Yeah. Well, he goes around.
Is it? Was it? Shoot, I think I know what you're talking about. Was it called The Art of Rap?
Yeah. It's called The Art of Rapping. You know, I like it because like a lot of rappers that he shows, a lot of them, you know, just starts rapping like Grandmaster Caz, and then they just go off. Like that's my favorite one because you see a lot of these rappers just, you know, being comfortable in their zone, and then, you know, they're really rapping. You know, of course we got Mos Def on there. We had Kanye, you know, Grandmaster Caz, Immortal Technique. You know, it was Dr. Dre. You know, Dr. Dre didn't rap. But, you know, a lot of them, they talk about their process. They talk about, you know, why they choose to do this and that. So, you know, definitely one of my favorite hip hop documentaries. And then there's also Beef. There's like the series of the Beef.
Those movies are so good.
Yeah. And then, you know, The Art of Organized Noise. I like, you know, I fucks with that too because talk about Outkast. And there's yeah, last I checked, yeah, it was. Yeah, so also there's oh man.
Did you ever watch Hip Hop Evolution?
Which one?
It's called Hip Hop Evolution. It's on
Netflix too. Yeah.
That's the good one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's the Get Down, which didn't last long, but I liked it.
I love the Get Down. I wish it wouldn't have got canceled. I really liked it.
Yeah.
But that was kind of, it wasn't necessarily a documentary, but it gave you a look at like before hip hop, 70s.
Yeah.
Another one, did you ever see the Tribe Called Quest one that Michael Rappaport made? It's called like Beats, Rhymes, and Life. It was like their documentary.
I heard about that, but I never watched it.
It's good. If you like Tribe, I recommend it. That was a really good one. It focuses mainly on their group, obviously, but I like it. And they actually did that right before Fife passed away, so he was in it. Yeah, Hip Hop Evolutions has like, I think there's actually 2 seasons of that on Netflix, so that's a good one.
I think they just added the 2nd season, but yeah, it's on there. And then there's also the Biggie and Tupac documentary that talks about the beef between them.
Oh, are you talking about the 2002 one?
Yeah,
it's like,
I think it's just called Biggie and Tupac, and then it talks about the whole thing with them. Yeah, there's a lot of good hip hop documentaries.
There's like so many on Tupac alone. Like there's like the Thug Ain't one. There's a Resurrection. There's like I don't know, like 8 of them or something. I think Resurrection's cool because they took sound clips of all his own voice and they made it look like he was kind of telling the story. And then Eminem actually did the soundtrack for that, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, documentaries are. I feel like we've been seeing more hip hop documentaries and more biopics, which I like to see because it's another way to kind of show the history of hip hop to like newer fans.
Yeah, and documentaries are really important, and they're informative too because they really tell you things that you never thought you would know. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those. Yeah, well, we can wrap up that topic, but yeah, I think it was cool to shout out a few TV shows that have definitely been influenced by hip hop. 2 of my all-time favorites too are Martin and Fresh Prince, so I still watch those just about every day. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and all the documentaries I think are really important to check out. It's always fun to like learn new things that you don't know about hip hop history. So I think that's important.
Also, the stretch in Barbino, that was
Oh,
good.
God, that's my favorite one. Apparently, I totally forgot about that one.
Yeah, I watched that one too. So yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the Stretch and Bobbito documentary.
Yeah.
Super good.
All right.
All right, well, I guess we can wrap it up. Well, I think we're gonna be back again on Monday, and then you can look for the audio of this. I'm gonna put on SoundCloud, and the video should just be on the Drew Seaver YouTube channel. So look up for that. And then hopefully Anthony will be back on Monday. I think he's in St. Cloud right now. He's back in Minnesota. Did you see him on Saturday night?
No, I never got a chance to. I wanted to, but it didn't happen. I think they had too much going on. So
Right. Ant, if you're watching, we just missed you. Come back to Minnesota again soon.
yeah. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
All right, we'll be back on Monday. I'm gonna go watch the Wolves beat the Nets, and that's about it. And that too. All right. All right. I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Peace, y'all.